Welcome to Food Rebels. I'm AJ Sharp. I'm the host. This is the podcast that brings you brands, chefs, and live on-air tastings. We are a show that is dedicated to the more rebellious side of the food world, and we celebrate the people who have challenged the status quo. Hello to all our lovely listeners. It's me and producer Georgie here.
Hello, hello.
Hello. So we want to hear from you and get your thoughts on our little podcast and what you like and what you want to hear more of and get a better understanding of you. So be really grateful if you could complete a quick survey. And in return, we'll pick one of you for a very special prize to be announced over the next couple of weeks. So head to our website, www.foodrebels.co.uk, to find the link to the survey.
Yeah, we really, really want to know who is listening, why you're listening. And we just want to know more about you. So please do go and fill it out and we will announce a very cool prize that's coming up soon.
So today on the show, we have some very special guests and some really exciting food that smells incredible in the studio here.
It does smell incredible.
We've got Monique Farquharson.
Yeah,
If I said that correctly.
You spot on.
Phew. From the Matcha Yard. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
Can you tell us a little bit about the Matcha Yard?
Yeah, so the Matcha Yard is a fusion of Jamaica and Japan. What we do is we pair together bold Jamaican spices with Japanese matcha, and we create exciting products, one of which is our ginger refresher that you'll taste today. And it is a productivity beverage.
Wow, that sounds awesome. I can't wait to taste it. And we also have Ben Payne from Bottle Brush Ferments. Welcome.
Hi, good to be here. Thank you.
Cool. Can you tell us a little bit about Bottle Brush Ferments?
Yeah, we're a Kent-based fermented food company. We specialise in live, raw fermented foods, mainly kimchi and sauerkraut. We sort of put a modern spin on some sort of classics and hopefully bringing it to a wider, newer audience.
Wicked. Can't wait to taste that too.
No,
That's
I
really
can't wait.
exciting. So shall we start with the matcha, this Jamaican and Japanese fusion? This is epic. Where did the idea for this come from?
Can we just start with what is matcha? Because I don't
Oh,
even
yeah.
know.
All right,
Like, let's
let's
start
start
right
there.
at the beginning because, I don't even know what that is. So let's go from there.
All right, so matcha is green tea. So if you're familiar with green tea, you're technically familiar with matcha because it's the leaves of the green tea that you ground into a powder, and that's it. So it's the leaves of green tea ground into a powder. That is what matcha is. It's a type of tea.
And why would you grind it up?
Because the thing is, with matcha, right, you want to ingest the entire leaf because of all of those nutritional properties that it has. So normally when you have like your regular green tea, you just sip it and then you throw the bits in the bin.
Yeah.
But you're not getting the full experience of the tea. You're not getting all of those nutrients. So that is where matcha comes in, where you're ingesting everything.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I see. Okay, so there's more benefits to than
Exactly.
just the leaves.
Just say times 10.
steeping the leaves.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Amazing. All right. So I get that now.
But how? No, sorry, I've got to come back. How? Japanese matcha
And Jamaica,
and
right?
Jamaica, love it. But how and why?
Okay, so the backstory. So first of all, I've always liked the Japanese culture. So from I was probably like 5 years old, I used to watch movies and then I would see like bits and pieces of Japanese tradition and I was always interested in it. But how matcha came in, I was in university and I was actually studying Japanese as an elective. And then...
Oh, cool. What kind of elective?
So just an elective, so just an extra subject that I was doing. So Japanese was there because I was studying actuarial science, actually, as my main degree. So lots of mathematics, risk management, very much statistics, that type of thing. So it was a very tough degree. So I was always tired and lethargic, everything. And so I started drinking coffee, but then I realized that when I was drinking coffee, it would make my heart palpitate. So I needed to find something else. And some women, they had introduced me to matcha, and they told me all of the fun things about it, including that it is an alternative to coffee because it's going to give me that energy and it will also boost my productivity and all that kind of jazz. And it so happened that matcha was from Japan. So when I tasted it, I spat it out. I didn't like it.
It's quite bitter, isn't it?
It is quite bitter.
On your first tasting.
Yeah, it was bitter. And the thing is, I did not have really good quality matcha either. So when I tasted it, man, it was horrible. And but because I knew that it was from Japan, and then I also researched and I saw all of these health benefits, I'm like, all right, what, if I can't drink coffee, I'm not going to drink energy drinks. Let me try matcha. And the Jamaican element came in when I started experimenting with matcha and Jamaican flavors. And when I tell you I fell in love, I mean, I fell in love. It was amazing. And then I ended up moving to Japan. But we can get there there as
Let's
well.
get there in a minute. So what are the benefits
Wow.
of matcha?
Yeah, so matcha helps you boost your metabolism. So that's one. It's packed with a lot of antioxidants, and matcha gives you energy because green tea in general has caffeine, right? But how matcha differs from coffee is that there is this really cool amino acid that's in matcha. It's called L-theanine.
Yeah.
And what it does, it basically slows down how the body absorbs that caffeine. So you get energy for a longer period of time without the jitters or the crash that coffee normally gives to you.
So there's no instant rush. It's more like a
Exactly.
gradual.
It's like a nice gradual. Exactly. So you get probably about 4 to 6 hours of just nice, easy, calm energy from matcha, and that's how it differs from coffee. And then, other benefits would be, that, as I said, boosted your metabolism, and it also makes you a little bit more productive because it breaks that blood-brain barrier, so your cognition is much better. And it has a whole host of other things because some persons even use matcha for weight loss and all sorts of things. But it's
So
really
would
amazing.
you say that you should only drink it in the morning for the same reason, as in like your caffeine would, like the hit would last for a longer time, so therefore...
I mean, it really depends because the thing is, it's soft energy, and that's why I personally don't categorize matcha as an energy drink and more so a productivity beverage. And it's very subtle, but, a sharp difference between the two because you're not going to get that intense energy. It's more of an energy whereby your brain is sharper, but then your body's more relaxed because of that same L-theanine. So you can have it in the evening. You're still going to feel energized throughout the night, but that should not prevent you from sleeping.
Yeah, because that's the thing with the coffee. I only drink mine, first thing because I don't want to
Yeah.
impact my sleep later.
I only drink decaf just because I can't cope with caffeine. But
Oh,
maybe
well,
for
matcha
this
is probably
reason.
like a softer energy.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if you're extremely caffeine sensitive, then you're just caffeine sensitive. You probably will be staying up. But typically speaking, matcha does not really cause you to lack sleep or anything like that. Because I find that for me personally, one of the reasons why I just used to love drinking matcha when I was in university is that I would feel energized, but then when I'm tired, I still could sleep. But with coffee, apart from the palpitations, I just could not sleep or anything. It was just jittery and all that. Yeah.
So how did you drink it then when you were at university and you're like working on your arterial?
Oh, wow.
What?
This is how I know that I'm not allergic to matcha because I did it in every single which way possible. So I used to drink it first with milk. And this is why I would say drinking it as a latte, which you're going to drink now. But
Oh, that's
that
what
is
you
the,
made for me.
Yeah, that's the latte. That's the worst introduction to matcha. So I would say drink this after.
I just want to drink it, and you're like, no, don't.
Yeah, I would say drink this first before you drink the latte. And here's why. Because you see with the latte is more intense. It's like an intense flavor where, you're getting that matcha green tea flavor. There's nothing masking it apart from just a little bit of milk. So until you acquire that flavor, it's going to be like, ooh, this is a lot.
But then, so you have to ease yourself
You have
into
to
it.
ease yourself into it because I was doing big boy things when I was in university and, just gave it a shot and I was like, ooh, it was too much.
Not ready for this.
I was not ready. But yeah, so what you're having now, this is our ginger refresher. This is now your beginner's drink. So how we put it, at least for the matcha ad, this is your primary school. Then we have a peach matcha, which is your secondary school. And then you have the ceremonial matcha that you make with the latte now. And that's your university. So now you're in primary school.
Excellent.
Oh, I see.
This is delicious.
This is delicious. It's really refreshing.
So this is a can, which is
Yes.
Oh, sorry. I'm spilling it all over the place. I know. I'm just going to have some more because I really enjoyed it.
it's a beautiful can with orange and green, two of my absolute favourite colours.
Oh, me and
decorating.
you.
Oh, I love them. They're just the best colours, happy and vibrant and growth.
Yeah.
And
Cayenne pepper.
Oh, the lime,
Yes.
the lime and cayenne's delicious.
It's nice.
They both are, yeah.
You guys are making my day today.
Oh, okay.
which one am I drinking here?
So that one is your ginger refresher. So this one now is, as you can see on the tin, the ginger as one of the main flavors, lime and cayenne. So it's like a tropical matcha. So
But it's not too sweet.
It's not exactly, yeah.
Because everyone who knows me knows I'm not into stuff that's
Not into
overly sweet. So that is really nice.
I think the first one that was poured out was the lime, because this one is completely different.
Oh, it's the same one.
Yeah.
So you're tasting.
No.
Yeah. So it's almost like your palate
I
is
agree.
tasting different things.
The second time round, I got way more cayenne and lime.
And ginger. Then when I knew that it was there, I was looking for it and I found it.
Yeah.
And then when you said lime, I could taste the lime. Like, wow.
Like coming to the forefront.
Yeah.
You went to Japan to learn more about it.
Yes, I did.
And what did you find when you were there?
Well, the thing is, when I went to Japan, I lived in this prefecture called Okinawa. So this is like the southernmost prefecture in Japan, very tropical as well. So the first thing is that, Okinawa is very much similar to Jamaica, but they don't grow like a lot of matcha there. So I had to actually go to Kyoto, and that is where we source all our matcha from.
Okay.
I learned so many things because I got to see the process from plant all the way to powder. So I went on the farms, and then we would see where exactly they grow their matcha and how is it that they grow it. Because like when you're growing matcha, you have to shade it for a particular amount of time so that it can build up like a lot of chlorophyll. So the leaves are going to be very rich, very green. So like when I had opened the powder, you would notice that it's extremely green and vivid. Yeah. So that marks really good quality matcha. And then they showed us how it's two ways that they would pick the leaves. So they'd either pick it personally, as in with their hands, like the actual laborers go and pick individual leaves, or they would use a machine. But the ones that are picked individually by hand, that is what makes ceremonial matcha. And then the machines now would make culinary matcha, which is like a lower quality. And then we went to the factory, and then we saw how they, mill the matcha and grind it. So for ceremonial matcha, they would use a stone mill. So there's two heavy stones, and then they would just put like a tiny bit of powder or a tiny bit of leaves, actually, after they, dry them. And then they would just put it in the stone mill. And for about an hour, you're only getting about 20 grams of matcha.
Whoa.
Yeah. It's a very long, very laborious process. But they have to do it really gently as well, because they don't want to burn the leaves. Because, if you're grinding stone too quickly,
hot.
it's going to get hot. Exactly. So it's a very gentle process. Wow. And then if you're doing like culinary matcha, they would just put it in like a ball mill, and they have like some balls in this barrel that's just gnashing and gashing around. And then it would just break apart the dry leaves. And that would make, the matcha a little bit more gritty. But for the ceremonial matcha, it's very smooth because it's in like the stone mill. So all of those things, we had to learn. And then I used to do classes with my sensei and do the whole tea ceremonies and all that to just understand it.
What is a matcha ceremony?
So this is basically where, you dress in like a kimono and everything, and then you would go into probably like your tea room, and then it's a process whereby you just make the tea, and then you serve it to the guests. And then how they serve it, it's just a beautiful process, because every single action that they do in a tea ceremony means something. So they never do anything random at all.
So it's a real process.
It's a real process. Yeah. Even when you're serving your tea, you would have like a bowl, and then the bowl normally has some drawings on it sometimes. And they would say, okay, that's the face of the bowl. So they would turn it 2 times so that the face of the bowl is facing you. So when I'm serving you the tea, you're actually seeing the face of the bowl. It's just intricate and beautiful.
This is the same kind of matcha that
is
would
the
be
ceremonial.
used.
Yeah, exactly. That is the matcha that would be used, and they would have it with just warm water. So like now you're having with milk, but it would just be with warm water. So it's a very intense flavor, very subtle in some ways, but still quite a strong green tea flavor.
That's really nice.
It is lovely.
I only say that because I've had one matcha latte before.
Yeah.
And
it was revolting.
It was. I thought, I went to, when you go to the coffee shop, you're like, I'm going to be really good today. I'm not going to have a coffee. I'm going to go for something else. And I was like, I'll have a matcha latte. They're meant to be really good. Anyway, I really regretted my choice once I bought it.
Lawnmower clippings.
So I was a little bit dubious about trying this. And I was like, God, I really
That's delicious.
But it's so smooth, and like it has no.
I think this is probably a lot better quality than
I was gonna say
one of the big
they're
coffee
probably
chains.
using like culinary matcha in some of the cafes, so probably that's why, because the culinary matcha is very astringent, almost vinegary kind of. It's rough.
Quite bitter tasting, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Yeah, that's not bitter. I didn't find that bitter at all.
There's no bitterness in there at all.
Ben's drunk all of his. You loved that, didn't you?
it's like
Delicious, yeah. I need to know where I can buy these.
Yeah, where can we get this from?
So you can get it on our website, thematchaya.com, and then we're also stocked in a couple places. So in London, we are at the Black Farm Shop, so that's in Brixton. We're here in Kent as well, so we're at Laura's Larder here in Kent. Yeah, so we have a stockist down here, and then we're also online, so like the Artisan, Fine Foods, and we are also on and Artisan Food Club online and a couple other places as well. Wakuda, so a couple marketplaces and then some.
And you're
physical
offering
sites.
our listeners a discount of 25% off if you go through to the website. So it's Food Rebel 25 when ordering directly from your website. So that's amazing.
That is amazing. Have you had matcha before, Ben?
I have, but also not the best experience. And I know I should drink it. My background's in health and well-being, so I know I should be drinking it. I drink too much coffee, but I tried. Even green tea, I can't get into that much. But that is awesome. I'll definitely be getting into that.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking that definitely. Sometimes I need a coffee in the afternoon, but I don't like to have one. So that would be the perfect one to then. Because I like the ceremony with the hot milk and everything. Yeah, I know it sounds a bit silly, but I like the feeling of like a nice hot drink rather than. So I'm going to give that a go.
That sounds amazing. My mouth's been watering ever since you dished out these bottle brush ferments. They smell incredible. And I thought, with chili, we kind of probably had to taste that second. But tell us about these. What have you brought in?
So I've brought you a selection of 3 of our products, and these are the 3 originals that we launched with way back. So you've got 2 sauerkrauts and a kimchi, and we have a yellow, a purple, and what we call a red. It's a bit more orange, but anyway, so I probably recommend starting with the yellow. It's our pineapple, ginger, and turmeric sauerkraut. I always sort of say to people, if you're new to fermented foods and sharp, sour, strong flavours, it's probably the entry-level fermented food because it's like got a little bit of subtle sweetness from the pineapple. You'll get the ginger in there that most people are familiar with. It's not too in your face with the sourness, and it looks like a bit of sunshine on your plate. So it's quite a nice.
Like a little bit of sunshine.
Beautiful. It's a similar colour to like piccalilli or something.
Yeah, people often ask us, is that a piccalilli? And it's not, but the whole sort of category of fermented foods do what a pickle would do. So sort of we say the function of it is it does what a pickle, a chutney or a relish would do. If you everything from sort of slapping it on a burger or whatnot to, adding a bit of intense colour and flavour to a Buddha bowl or a salad dish or anything really, a toasty, whatever.
But that's not spicy. If I put that in a cheese toasty for my kids, they would nail that.
My daughter, she started with the yellow one. That was, and funny enough, she's just come back to it. She devours the kimchi as well, but the yellow one seems to be one that the kids start with.
And it's actually called the yellow one, isn't it?
I'm a simple man. I'm a simple man.
The Aussie coming out.
Mate, I kept it nice and easy. Yeah.
You label it like it is.
But you would be amazed how many people call the purple one the red one because it's got the red cabbage in it.
Right.
I thought it was a foolproof plan, but obviously
it's slightly orangey.
Yeah.
So why did you get into making fermented food? Sorry, where did you start?
So as mentioned, my background is in health and well-being. I've been a personal trainer for nearly 20 years, and I had a functional medicine mentor and did some basic nutritional coaching training, and then sort of understood that there were sort of some underlying issues that kept popping up, and the gut was a big one that I kept seeing with customers or clients. And I had my own journey through this stuff as well. I sort of did everything with my mentor that I would then go on to do with my clients. And I was already pretty healthy, but coming from a gym-based background, it's a lot of chicken and rice and,
and powders and stuff like that.
And all that crap, and all the stuff that's labelled as health foods often ends up being some of the worst stuff for you. But so I sort of took a whole food approach and then really delved into the gut because I was seeing that 99% of people I would see as a coach had underlying gut health issues. And if people were coming to us for whatever it may be, mostly it was guys, it was to build muscle, and for females, it was to drop a bit of fat and tone up. I would always say, we'll get to that. Let's go after your gut first. And 9 times out of 10, across the board. And I mean, we had people coming to us with pretty severe autoimmune disorders, and then all your stock standard stuff like acid reflux, bloating, indigestion, diarrhea, constipation, food allergies, sensitivities, asthma, all that sort of stuff. And like I said, 9 times out of 10, even more. I think I've had one client in 10 years that didn't respond well to fermented foods and a gut health approach.
Was that your only thing that you said? Going for fermented
It was
foods?
sort of, I sort of tied it into a broader elimination diet where we take out the big 5 initially, food sensitivities, wheat, gluten, dairy, soy, and then the last one could be anything from eggs, nightshades, citrus, that sort of shellfish and that sort of stuff, depending on what people ate. And like I said, with me, with a gym-based background, my mentor said to me, you need to take out the stuff you eat a lot of because you can develop sensitivities to stuff even if they're good for you. So I took out sweet potato, kale, rice, chicken, eggs. I took out everything, and people are like, well, what did you eat? I was in Australia at the time, so we got amazing game, great seafood, and just sometimes it can be really subtle changes. So I was, instead of eating sweet potato, I was eating purple sweet potatoes. Instead of eating rice, I was eating wild rice or red rice.
Yeah.
Got into quinoa, freekeh, buckwheat, all that sort of stuff. And I ate a lot of salmon and tuna, so I stopped eating those and got into wild sea bream and all that sort of stuff, So it was quite easy to do it. And honestly, I felt incredible. And I was pretty healthy already, but I'd always got mouth ulcers. And my dad always got them. I thought it was just genetic.
Yeah.
And then I went in and I did the gut rebuild and elimination and never had a mouth ulcer since.
Wow.
And also, I've always been quite a slender guy. And coming from a gym-based background, I always wanted to be a bit beefier.
Yeah.
But I just couldn't put weight on. I know it's first world problems. But especially all my clients are like, they're trying to lose weight and I'm trying to put it on. I realised for all my organic veggies and meats, I probably wasn't absorbing it. So I think I had malabsorption issues where I wasn't absorbing all this good food I was eating. So I went in, fixed the gut, and all of a sudden, when I wanted to put weight on, I could put weight on. When I wanted to drop a bit, I could drop it just like that. And mouth ulcers never came back. Energy went through the roof, like just all that stuff. Focus, attention, memory. So probably some undiagnosed subtle food sensitivities.
Yeah.
Before they all cleared up.
But this is a bigger issue, though, isn't it? This is one of the big things that people are talking about everywhere at the moment.
The gut's massive. Yeah.
The gut is massive. And kind of clearing your gut, getting it sorted and eating all the right stuff to make sure your microbiome is doing what it needs to do.
And Tim Spector's definitely done his part to help.
Tim Spector's done great
amazing things. Yeah. And there's a great documentary on Netflix at the moment. It's got can't remember it for the life of me, but Dr. Julia Enders.
Oh yes, her book is great.
Yeah, so that's the
I love that. If you haven't read
oh,
that,
man, it's called Gut. It's just called Gut. She's a German doctor, and she went down the road of gut health, and she really pulls it apart and makes quite what can be quite an in-depth and complicated topic. She really breaks it down into pun intended, digestible sort of bite-sized pieces. And, it's quite cool. Her sister illustrates the book, and it's really that's a really good book to get into.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah. And she comes across really well, really playful, really sort of fun with it. Like, because Germans can sometimes be a little bit down the line and a little bit. She's awesome. She's amazing. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
But fermented foods, this is not anything that's new, is it? They've been around
forever. Yeah.
I grew up in Russia and everyone had fermented foods and pickled this and that to get them through the winter.
Yeah, that's
they
the
grew
thing, right?
They grew all their own vegetables in the summer and then they pickled it for the whole winter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So is it that the West never had it, or that we lost it, or like what
Well, I think the Germans, the Russians, the Eastern Europeans, definitely.
Eastern
Obviously,
Europeans,
the Brits, the Aussies, the Americans. The Americans
the
pickle.
French. I don't think.
Choucroute, I think they have a little bit of it, but not so much. But like you said, every culture throughout history, bar probably the Western ones, have fermented, pickled, smoked, preserved, salted, cured food for necessity.
For necessity, exactly.
They needed to, right? And to preserve the harvest throughout the winter when nutrients were going to be in short supply, it came about pre-refrigeration, obviously, and then. Like everyone knows, I used to do this thing, but now it doesn't work because everyone's so clued up. But when I used to do workshops and lectures, it'd be like, put your hands up if you try fermented foods. And back in the day, no one would put their hands up. And then I was like, well, have you had chocolate, coffee, beer, yogurt, wine, bread? They're all fermented. So they've been about, but just not,
Oh, okay.
And then, you think about the Asian cultures in Japan, miso, tempeh, all that sort of stuff, natto, they ferment the funky stuff. People have tried it, they just don't realise. But now... sort of us, and we weren't the first in the UK, but we were one of to try and make it a bit more accessible. And here we are. Do you want to try the next one?
Really
All
do.
right, so probably go on to the purple one.
Okay.
So that is a red cabbage, beetroot and caraway seed sauerkraut. Deep, rich, intense colour. What you'll find about our ferments as well is we like our veggies crunchy. So the sauerkrauts ferment for about 4 to 5 weeks. But we don't like soggy, sad cabbage. I like
not soggy at all.
No, nice and crunchy, vibrant. The colour,
Gorgeous.
obviously people taste with their eyes first, right? So we always thought colour first. I actually had this idea pre-launch about traffic lights. I wanted to do a red, an orange and a green, but the green just didn't work. Like you might find with the matcha as well, Monique, that... Well, maybe yours keeps the colour, but when we fermented greens, and I tried moringa and some other superfoods like the wheatgrass, they just went like a sad, pale, greeny brown.
Chloroform stuff.
Yeah, it just goes. So I was like, we'll get rid of the green and we'll bring in the red/orange. The purple sauerkraut, sharp and sour, bit earthy from the beetroot, and then hopefully you'll get a bit of that caraway seed aftertaste coming through.
Oh, it's really good.
Oh, this is gorgeous.
Nice. So I love fermented foods, but I eat them out the jar. Because I genuinely don't know what else to do with them. So I'll go for a snack and I'll be like, I'll have a mouthful or two of some kind of either a kimchi or a fermented thing. please can you just tell me, like, what do you eat it with?
Do you
Because
double dip? That's the first question.
Yeah.
I'm the only one in the house who eats it.
So the issue with double dipping is
oh no, am I going to turn it off? Make it.
it's if it's unpasteurized live and raw like ours are,
Okay.
it'll still have the beneficial bacteria in there. It is a very delicate microbial environment.
Right.
And if you're introducing a foreign strain, i.e. from your saliva, into the jar, you can just speed up the degradation of the veggies. So I'd never get spoilage. The only time I notice we get spoilage is my daughter's been eating out of the jar, or if customers have said to me, oh, the top went a bit weird. And I was like, yeah, you probably ate from the jar. And they're like, oh, yeah, I did.
I've been told.
So naughty. Yeah. But I mean, like I said, we treat it like a chutney or a pickle or a relish.
Yeah.
If I'm lazy, it'll be cheese on crackers with a bit of kimchi or kraut on top.
Okay.
Toasties with kimchi. Add it to the side like a relish or.
Or even like a coleslaw
Exactly.
equivalent. Instead of
Exactly.
coleslaw, you'll
Yeah.
just have it on the side.
And as your tummy becomes a bit more sort of tolerant to the live bacteria, you can just take out one of your staples, like take out your baby spinach or your kale or whatever it is, and just a couple of tablespoons of kimchi or sauerkraut, and that's a couple of your serves of 5 to 10 a day.
Okay. Oh, and also you were telling us earlier that you put it with scrambled eggs. So I'm
Yes.
going to try that. So
Yeah.
the kimchi
Yeah.
with scrambled
Yeah.
eggs. And
Also-
I have eggs pretty much every day. every
Same.
morning.
So I'll have eggs probably 3 or 4 times a week. I'll do it for my daughter. We'll either scramble the eggs and add them in after. You can cook with it, but like the beneficial bacteria are quite heat sensitive.
Sure.
So if you cook it, you'll probably kill a lot of the beneficial bacteria. So
okay.
cook whatever you're going to cook, and that goes the same for like your noodles and your rice dishes. Just sort of add it in and stir it through when it comes off the temperature a little bit.
Fine.
All right, last one to try is the kimchi. So that is a vegan-friendly kimchi. There's no fish or shrimp in there. Not that I'm vegan. I do love the funky sort of super pungent fishy ones, but just to keep the kitchen allergen-free and sort of
That is
friendly for
so good.
Yeah, so that's our kimchi. A lot more going on in terms of flavour. If you think about the krauts, they've got sort of 2 or 3 ingredients. The kimchi has cabbage, radish, carrot, ginger, spring onion, chili, garlic, gochugaru.
But you get them all. You get all of those different vegetables. You get
It's
the
quite
sourness. You get the
nice.
chili comes in really beautifully and it's there, but it goes away really beautifully. You're not being punched by it.
I
It's-
know. I love the chili.
Oh,
That's
it's
like-
amazing.
So that's the milder of our 2 kimchi. We do a hotter version.
Oh,
with,
do you
with
really?
Thai
I do
with
love-
Thai
I
bird's
do
eyes.
love
But I thought that might be a bit too much today, so I just brought the
So good.
This one's my
Spicy
level, to be
one.
honest. My chef loves his chili. I like to enjoy my food. I don't want to be there sweating and crying and carrying on.
So that's the 3-star
That's the
Great
3-star
Taste
Great
Awards
Taste,
winning
yeah.
one.
Stars.
That's the kind of thing I have to buy when I go into a store because it's just, it's going to be insanely
Yeah,
good.
and I just want to go back to that point as well, how crunchy it is. And that's what because I've tried a fair few different varieties and I don't like the ones that are soggy.
Yeah, we ferment the kimchi for much less because that lovely Chinese cabbage is so much more delicate and gentle. So we only ferment for about 10 to 14 days for the kimchi, and we like the veggies to be crunchy.
Okay.
That's so good.
Oh, just before we go, actually, Ben has given a discount code as well of Bottle Brush Ferments, 25 off, and that gives you 25% off.
Oh, yeah. And where can we buy yours?
Similar to Monique, we're on Artisan Food Club online, but through our website, and we'll look after you with a discount there. We're in loads of Kent-based retailers now, so McNade's up in Faversham. We are over in Quex Barn in Thanet, Algar Lodge, Arno & Co. on the High Street in Deal where I live, Laura's Larder.
But if you're further away,
London-based, but we'll ship all over the country.
you ship everywhere.
We
So
ship
you
all
can
over
go on the
country.
website.
Mainland UK. We'll get it
Wicked.
to you within a couple of days. Yep.
That is brilliant. Thank you so much.
thank
It's been
you.
absolutely great. Sadly, we've come to the end of our show. That has been amazing. I've really enjoyed meeting you guys, Monique and Ben. Thank you so much for coming in. Please get in touch through our website, Food Rebels, or send us a DM if you want to get in touch with us.
Yep.
Come and say hello. Thank you so much. Thanks for joining us, and make sure you taste the rebellion.